Serialization and deserialization in Java. In this video, we will see what is serialization and what is deserialization and the role of transient keyword in serialization process, and also we will see what is externalization and differences between serialization and externalization. Serialization is nothing but the process of converting Java supported object to either network supported or file supported form. Let us see how we can serialize and deserialize the data in Java. Let us take a user. So here we are having user. User having 5 fields. So we will implement serialization process and deserialization process for this user. Let us create constructor so that we can able to insert the value easily. We will override toString also. toString. Yeah. Now we will apply serialization and deserialization for this user. Let us see here. We are having a class serialization demo. Here first what we will do, we will create serialization. How we can achieve serialization in Java means there are 2 classes. By using the 2 classes we can able to achieve the serialization. That 2 classes are nothing but file output stream and object output stream. Let us see them. We will create a separate function for serialization and another function for deserialization. Public static void serialization. For serialization we will send 2 objects, 2 inputs, object to obj and another one will see path. If we are planning to serialize our Java supported object into file format, so we will give that file name. As we discussed, serialization can be achieved using file output stream and object output stream. Let us see how we can do that. File output stream is equals to new file output stream of, we have to give file path so that the serialized object will be saved in the respected place. So this file output format is check type of exception. We have to throw file not found. It will throw file not found exception if the file is not there. And we will another one object output stream. Object output stream is equals to new object output stream of file input stream. This one also check type of exception. So we will add a method signature IO exception. Now we will write into the object output stream dot write object of whatever the object this method will be received. This process, like these 3 lines, is easy to we can achieve the serialization. And also we will write one more functions to achieve the deserialization. Public static, we will return object, public static object do deserialization, we can say. Deserialization. So here we need only one argument, the file from where we want, from the file we want, so that we can convert into the Java readable or Java supported form. Here deserialization can be achieved using file output stream class. File output stream is equals to new file output stream of, we have to give here file name. The file name means for the file location we have to give. Also we have to use object input stream. sorry, here file input stream we need, because we are getting from input stream. File input stream. Object input stream is equals to new object input stream of file input stream. Here file input stream. These are all the exceptions, so we will add into the method signature. Now let us return object.inputstream.read object method. By using read object method, we can able to get the data. We are reading the data from the file and we are returning. These two methods, this method performs the serialization and this method performs the deserialization. Let us try to create user. We have created, right? User is equals to new user of user ID of type 123. Username we can give Momedaram. Email we will give abc@gmail.com. Next abc gmail, phone number and address. Phone number 9876543210 and address we can give Bangalore. So now we have created an object and let us try to do serialization. We'll call that serialization. The serialization is expects two arguments. One is object and another one is file name. In our testing purpose, we will use some sample. We will create in this location. Let us see what all thing is there. We will use this location and we'll create that file in this location. We will give the file name as sample.txt. We will give this one. Let us run this one. Let us we will do serialization first. Later we will do a deserialization, or we can do deserialization here itself. User is equals to deserialization of, we will give the same path, because the file will be once we done the serialization, once it is done the serialization, we can able to do the deserialization. Here it will give the format of object, so we will convert into the user object. User1 we will give. We will print this user1. Later what we will see, what is whether we are able to get the proper data or not. Let us run this program and see. When we try to run, we are getting error saying that no serializable exception, that is user. That means when you want to perform serialization to any object, that object should implement serializable interface. If you are not implemented that object class as serializable, we will get this kind of exception. So we will go user, in the user we will implement serializable interface. This serializable interface is a marker interface. That means the serializable interface will not have any members in it. That means no fields and no methods in it. That is the reason we call this serializable method as marker interface. Now let us run this one and see. So now we are able to serialize this data we are able to, and we are able to deserialize this data also. We are able to see user id 123, whatever the data we have given, same data it is coming. Now let us see, we have created this serialization, right? So we have saved in this location, right, that file. Let us open that file and see how the data looks like in, let us see how the data looks like. ls-lrt. So it is having sample.txt. Previously it is not there. Once we have done serialization, we are able to it prints here. Let us open this one and see. If you see here, we are able to see the data, but the data in the format is different. Question mark, it is there. We are able to find something, user something. It is an unreadable format, Momedaram phone number something, it is there, but it is of type file supported format. If you open in normal text also, you will be able to see like this only. Now we have done serialization and deserialization. Now let us see, for example, we are having 5 fields, and we are able, when we deserialize, we are getting all the data. Sometimes we don't want to serialize some of the objects in the that time how we can achieve is by using transient keyword. If you use transient keyword, when you do serialization and deserialization, that time whatever the variables you have used serialization, that will be that for that variables serialization is not happened. When you deserialize, the values will be default values will come. For example, if you apply transient keyword here, transient keyword for name, and if you execute the same program again, let us see how it will works. So if you see here, we have applied transient keyword for a name. So it is, I mean, this serialization is happened, but it is not happened for this specific property called name, because we use a transient keyword. So that is, if we apply the transient keyword for user id, let us see, it will give transient keyword. We will apply for this user id. It is of type int. What value it will give? Let us run and see. It is giving default value 0. So when you don't want to serialize any value, any properties, that time you can mention that properties as by using transient keyword. Okay, now let us consider a scenario. You are having 5 fields here, you are applying. If you are having almost 50 to 60 fields in your object, and you wants to do serialization only for limited number of fields, that time how we will achieve? By using serialization we cannot achieve this one, but we can able to achieve that one by using externalization. Let us see how externalization works. In our case, for our testing purpose, we are using user address class. Here we will create a constructor so that we can able to create the object easily. I am creating the constructor, parameterized constructor, and I am generating toString, so that when you print that object, we can able to see the object properly. So when you want to do any object as externalization, that object also should implement externalization interface. If you are not implemented, that time we cannot able to achieve that. This externalization interface, we are giving error, means it is externalization interface it is containing 2 methods in it. That 2 methods we should override in our in the respected class where you wants to do the externalization one. So it is not a marker object because it is having, sorry, it is not a marker interface because it is having 2 objects. Let us see. If you want to do serialization for only these 2 properties, address line 1 and address line 2, or we will do for few fields only. How we can able to do means, we have to override this externalization methods, null and read external. We have to override here. How we can override here means, it is taking argument of object out. So out dot write object of, here this object out, it is having lot of methods are there. If for our purpose we are having lot of write, it is taking different arguments. So you can take input as in, you can take int, byte, many things you can take. In our case we are having object, string is an object, so I will take write object of void dot write object. I can say address line 1, and I want to do externalization only some part of the some fields only I wants to. So here whatever the fields you wants to do serialization, that kind of fields and all you will be added in the write external method. I will do for one more method, address line 2. So this one we have done here. This method what it will do, when you in the same example, when you use another user address as another user, and when you do serialization and serialization, that time when this method write object method, internally it will calls this write external and read internal one. We will see that one how it will work. So we have to override this read external method also. So here we will override address line 1 is equals to in dot, here what we are doing, read object. This read object will give the type of it will give object type. So what we are doing, we are giving the input. For example, if you are doing the variable, if you are doing int, that time it will come read int, that time you will convert it into int, that time is not required to convert. When you do object, that what type of object you are converting, you have to mention there. Address line 2 is equals to in dot read object. Here also you have to mention the type of the object. So this is only we have to do. So here let us see one more time what is this externalization means. Externalization will have two methods. That two methods we have to override, then only we can able to achieve that externalization concept. So now we have in our user address class, we are able to override these methods. Now here in the implementation, this serialization and externalization, whatever these methods like same, we are going to use the same, nothing will be changed in this logic. Okay, let us, here we have used the user, let us use the, we will use address class. User address is equals to new user address of, here we are giving address line 1, we can say Bangalore, or we can say Madiwala. Address line 2 BTM, we can give some value Bangalore. State Karnataka, India. We will give some zip code as 123. What happened? Address line 1, oh here we missed this one, that is the reason it is coming. Okay, so we have created one object for our testing purpose, user address. We will use here user address, we will use the same, or we will give some other name. For testing purpose we will give sample1. Serialization, we are using the serialization purpose. Externalization, we are using the user address, and we are doing the serialization for the same, and we will use user address only here. user address 1, user address 1, here user address. So looks everything fine. Now let us run this one. There is nothing changed there is no logic needs to change in the serialization and deserialization concept. When you are using externalization implementation also, we will use these two classes only to achieve serialization and deserialization. Let us run this one and see. So when you run this program, we are getting no valid constructor error. So whenever an object is implementing externalization, that class should have default constructor. That means no argument constructor. If we are not having no argument constructor, that time we will get invalid class exception. So here it is required no argument constructor. Let us add the no argument constructor and see. Constructor, and we will create no argument constructor, and let us run the same example and see. So here we are able to get the response. If you see here, we are doing the serialization externalization only for address line 1 and address line 2. Only this portion we have applied, and the remaining portion we have not applied. That is the reason we are getting these other elements are null. Just see for another field, and whether we are getting or not. Let us see. Right object of, we can say city is there, we will give city. In the read external also we will override that one. City is equals to in dot read object of read object. So we have added one more property in the write external and the read external, and let us run the same demo class and see whether we are able to get the city value or not. So here we are able to get the city value. So if you want to do portion only, not the entire object, that time we can go with the externalization. Transient keyword, if you use transient keyword in the externalization, when you're implementing the object externalization, the transient keyword won't perform any role. Let us run this one and we'll see. If you see here, address line 1, even though we have applied the transient keyword for address line 1, it is not performing any role in the externalization. This is all about externalization. Now let us see the differences between serialization and externalization. Serialization is a default version of serialization. Externalization is customized version. That means we have to override that external object and read external and write external methods. So in the serialization, everything will be taken care by JVM, and the programmers does not have any control. And the externalization, only programmers have the control, and JVM will not have any control. Whole objects will be saved always. That means when you use the serialization, whole objects, all the whatever the variables properties present in that, all the properties will be serialized. When you use externalization, you can able to choose based on the requirement, you can able to choose what are the fields you want to do the serialization. This serialization is best choice if you want to save total object. This externalization is best when you want to do some portion of the object only. This serialization interface is marker interface. That means it is not having any methods. And externalization is not marker interface. It is having write external and read external methods. Serialization class is not required to do. Serialization class is not required any no argument constructor to do the serialization. As we see, externalization requires the no argument constructor. If you don't have no argument constructor, it will give invalid class exception. See, in serialization, transient keyword plays a role, but in the externalization, it won't place any role. Even though if you define the transient keyword for the properties. Let us see what are the classes implementing the serializable interface default. Let us go to this one. So we are having a string class. If you go in string class, this is string class, this is string.java. This string class is implementing serializable interface. All the wrapper classes, let us see here, instead of let us create some other thing, integer. All the wrapper classes also, let us go to this integer class is extending the number, and we will go to the number. All the wrapper classes also implements this serialization, and also all the collection classes implements this serialization interface by default. So when you work with these string classes and wrapper classes and collection related objects, no need to bother about this explicitly, no need to implement this serialization. Other objects, when you want to do serialization, you should implement this serialization interface. This is all about this video. Hope you found this video helpful. Thanks for watching.